we have from down under, I believe, Kristy Allen. Are you out there, Kristy?
Yes. Hello. Hi, everybody.
How are you, Kristy? It's so good to have you here in person.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a privilege for me to be on and share my story.
We're talking to you in the future, of course. It's Thursday
Yes,
for you.
it is, and it's the first day of summer down in Australia, and it is, I'm in Brisbane, so it's meant to be sunny Queensland, but it's 18 degrees and cold and raining. So
oh my gosh, that's cold. Well, give us an idea, Kristy. Where are you calling in from? What part of Australia?
So I'm in Brisbane, Australia.
Brisbane.
Yeah.
Brisbane. Okay, that's
Brisbane,
wonderful.
yeah.
And who was it who shared ER Shred with you?
Yeah, it was Jackson Parr. So
there's that name again. It's always Jackson Parr.
The catalyst for a lot of people changing their life, which is incredible.
God, he's amazing. He really is an amazing individual. I had no idea. That's one of the reasons I'm so grateful for this journey that our paths have crossed, because I just didn't realize what cloth he was cut from, and I didn't realize how influential he is. So thank you, Jackson Parr. You're like superhero status as far as ER Shred is concerned. Kristy, Kirsty, like Kirsty.
Yeah.
Kirsty, give us an idea of what is your passion? What do you love?
My passion currently is running. So I was never, ever a runner. Even midway through this year, I caught myself having a limiting belief of, I'm just not a runner. I could never be a runner. It's just not in my genetics. I couldn't even run like a kilometer without getting like puffed out. So I had this moment through the year where I was just like, well, I could be a runner if I actually like put my mind to it and dedicated. And yeah, so I ended up starting a running journey, and now I absolutely love it. And it is one of my passions. And yeah, I did a half a marathon back in September. So
I saw your post. I actually saw your, everybody go check out Kristy's post. She's very active on social media. And I saw a post, it was like a reel of your marathon, and it was really cool. And I could tell it was very emotional. You had a big fan base. It was really cool.
I did. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. When did you pick up the running? How recent was that?
July.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so from July, I think started like my first run that I went for was, or jog, was 3 kilometers. And then, mid-September, I then ran 21.4 kilometers. So in that time frame, and I started ER Shred end of August. So yeah.
Okay, this is going to be a cool little interview because we can kind of have that contrast.
Absolutely.
Give us an idea. I know you were already in Isagenix. You were already using Isagenix products, right?
Yes.
And you believed in them. It had changed your life. What did ER Shred? ER Shred comes on board. What does that story look like?
Sean, where do I even start with what it has done for my life? So a bit of my backstory. Obviously, I'd been doing Isagenix for 18 months or 16 months before I was introduced to ER Shred. I'd released 10 kilos, had incredible support from like Jackson and the team, even just being a part of such an incredible community. It was, I was starting to do things outside my comfort zone and introduce strength training, like more exercise, all of those sorts of things. So it had definitely made a phenomenal impact on my life. And I thought that my health was quote unquote good, but I had always struggled my entire like adult life, as long as I can remember. No matter how healthy I was, I still suffered from a lot of like stomach pains and bloating and those sorts of things. And so although I just thought that it was normal for me because it was something that I dealt with every single day. So to me, I was just like, it's just me. Knowing that now that's so not normal. But when Jackson came to me with ER Shred, I think he'd been doing it for around 14 days. And he said, I feel the best that I've ever felt in my entire life. And he's like, I just want to, ask a couple of people who I know and trust if they would be keen on trying it so I can see whether it works for them, whether it's just me, whether it's just like, he's just like, I just want to gauge and see. And he's like, I know that you're doing well with isogenics and everything, but like, just if you don't want to, it's okay if you do. And I was like, oh, give it a crack. It's 11 days. Like, I'm keen to I'm always open to trying things and seeing what works. And yeah, like, I have to admit, when he told me what it was, I was somebody who never ate red meat. Never. Like, I did not like it. The thought of eating steak to me was just like, oh my God, no, I don't want to eat it. I was a chicken and salmon through and through kind of gal. Ate a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, all of the right things that I should have been feeling really good.
Right.
And so, yeah, I started ER Shred, and I was just like, I'm just going to give it a crack. I didn't even really eat that many eggs or butter or anything like that. And so the thought of cutting out like my banana, I always had banana in my isogenic smoothies. So transitioning to not having that at all, I was like, this is going to be really hard, but I'm going to try. And from the moment, like day one, it was just these constant little aha moments of, oh, wow, this actually like tastes good, and I feel good, and I feel satiated. And I craved sugars and carbs like a fair bit, even though I would eat healthy sugars and carbs. I'd still crave it a lot. And then I found the same as Lizette, like I wasn't craving it. And I was just like, this is so bizarre to me. And I always struggled with cleanse days as well. And when I got to my first like double cleanse and breezed through the first day, I said to Jackson, I was like, what is this black magic? Because it's so insane to me that it was just the ease that came with it. So yeah, and then I just zero stomach pains, zero bloating. Like, it was just, I had never felt that good consistently in my adult life. And I was just blown away. And I went and saw my family, I think it was like on day 12. And they obviously know what I had struggled with, like day in, day out with, like, stomach issues. And they were all just like, okay, what is it? I want to do it. Because it was just the impact that it's had on me and my life, being able to exercise better, work better, go to social events better, like the way that I show up in my life, because I'm no longer like in pain or having to worry or those sorts of things. It's completely changed my life. So.
Oh God. You're making me a little bit emotional. I'm sorry, because you're speaking to that gut health stuff, and boy, does that really pulls on my heartstrings, because I know what it feels like to not feel good every day, and to wonder what's wrong with you, and to wonder if it's you. It must be me, because maybe everybody else, but in reality, nobody's really open to talking about it. I can relate on so many levels. Thank you for being so vulnerable. I like how you framed it. You said stomach issues, because that's really all that needs to be said. So you literally had, would you say you had years of ill effect from stomach issues?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, probably like 17 years.
Can I just go out on a limb and ask you, what do you think was causing that?
Obviously.
Have you not figured that out yet? Because that's part of the journey, right?
There were certain things that I knew would upset my stomach, like garlic or onion, but I would still incorporate a lot of, fruits, vegetables, legumes, all of those sorts of things. And yeah, it would just, regardless of what I would do, I still always had the pain or the bloating. And it is honestly the first time in my entire adult life that I haven't had those issues, which is just
sounds a lot like Lizette, doesn't it? So when Lizette talked about the cravings just being nullified and killed and the bloating being gone, you've noticed those as well.
Yes, like it is night and day how different I feel like. And it was in those first 11 days, because I didn't have a great deal of weight to lose because I had already been on that journey. But the difference even in my before and after photo from the start of Shred to after, you can just see the inflammation is gone. So in those first 11 days, I released 3 kilos. And I think a majority of it as well was a lot of inflammation that was being stored in my body. And just the difference that people were noticing with me. And I think it was like 3 centimeters off my, like, each part of my body, because it was just, I felt lighter and I felt vital, like, is probably the best word that I can use for it. And this is probably something like another huge impact and difference that it's made on my health. And I don't think people probably speak about it enough, men and women, but it's the difference that it's made on my cycle as well. So I went from somebody who had a very irregular cycle to now having a cycle where I don't have pain with that either. And I think that is a huge indicator of your health and where it's at. And since doing Shred, I've found that it's that's made a huge impact on that side as well.
So cool. Thank you for mentioning that as well, because you're right. It isn't mentioned as much, and it is vitally important. I agree with you. Thank you. I love the Aussies because the Aussies, they're just so normal and they're just so cool. And so I just want to give a shout out to all of you Aussies out there. How grateful we are that you've come on board with us, and that we've come on board with you, and that we found each other. How grateful we are for Rick and Natasha, for them speaking up and really making sure that Jackson Parr, was going to hear it. Kristy, this is all so amazing. Have you also noticed, in terms of, the gut health kind of dialed in, have you noticed that you feel better, and that, emotionally and around that kind of a thing? Do you notice your mood and all of that kind of more consistent and feeling well?
Exactly how I would put it, is that my moods are more stable, less reactive to things. Like, it's so interesting to observe how you react to situations now. So it has made a huge impact on, like, my mood and how stable it is, like, compared to, and how when things show up and come up in life, it's just so much easier. And I have a spray tanning business, and I'm very busy with it. And I do back-to-back clients up to 40 clients a day in a row. And the other week I think it was 95 clients in 4 days. And by the end of the day, by the end of the last day, I think I'd said to Jackson, I was just like, it's so weird that I feel like I still have energy. I feel like I still feel good, when this time a year ago, I was struggling to get through each week and thinking, how am I going to get through December, because it's my busiest time. Whereas, like, I know that I'm going to get through December so much better this year. And it's actually just so exciting to know that, I just feel phenomenal. And that is because of Shred and what you guys have done. And I will be forever grateful for you guys for what you're doing for people. It is just so much extraordinary.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's beautiful. I also feel emotional when you talk about, you came alive, girl. And, so did our other friend there. She came alive, and you can just sense it. You can feel it. It just bleeds through the computer. Like, here we are on a digital device. You're in Australia. I'm in Utah. Jesse's in North Carolina. Mimi's in Florida somewhere, probably. And your energy is literally oozing through the computer. It's just unreal. And I remember it. You feel bionic. I hope people will hold it. That's my only hope, Kristy, around this feeling that people get when they really have everything dialed in and they start to learn that self-awareness that you're referring to. That is just one of the natural byproducts of doing this. Self-awareness, observation, as you put it, is just enhanced to the highest extent. and you start to learn about yourself, don't you? And next
Absolutely.
thing you know, like that's a trip when you have that realization, 95 spray tans in 4 days, and I got energy to spare. You're bionic, girl. Like at your
Yeah.
natural level, when you're doing things right, you can do some crazy good stuff, and you're powerful. And that's what you're showing here. Thank you.